What's up, guys? I am Reese Highlight Humphrey, and today I'm going to be going over a technique series on how to take down somebody and hold them down safely. I recently reached out to my friend who is a police officer in New Jersey, and we heard that there wasn't a high budget for hand-to-hand combat training, so I decided I would use my skill set, wrestling, and I'm also going to challenge jiu-jitsu players, combat athletes, and MMA guys, and the wrestling community to use their platform and to use their expertise in wrestling and takedowns to create their own content, try and make a difference in the world, and hopefully try and inspire other people in their field of expertise to do the same, creating content out of the goodness of their heart to make the world a safer place. And I am going to turn this over to my friend, Johnny Minicapelli, who is a police officer in New Jersey, how we can help the police protect and serve the people in a better, more peaceful manner.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Johnny, and like Reese said, I'm a police officer in New Jersey. When he reached out to me, he was shocked to hear that training is a scarcity. The last time I probably trained takedowns or compliance holds, probably 15 years ago in the academy. There's gonna be times where you have to go hands-on. It's inevitable. We must remain safe. We have to ensure not only the safety of the individual and the public, but of the officer as well. So I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to learn, which is what this is gonna be all about.
All right, so let's get into the takedowns. The first one and maybe most common thing is going to be the double leg takedown. And I want to introduce my boy, CJ Brucky, NJRTC athlete. One of the most common things is going to be an assailant attacking the police officer. So I'm going to have CJ actually be the police officer in this case, just to show the technique first. And Johnny, as you go to attack him, I want CJ to fake something up high to get them to reach high and then go low and put a lot of weight on their back foot as they go get ready to carry weight. And a couple things we're trying to keep in mind is keep your head up, keep your back straight, keep your hips in, keep your feet wide. Be prepared for the chaos that's getting ready to come. So fake up high. As you come down and meet your opponent, you're gonna grab them around both legs, and then you'll have your athleticism able to pick somebody up and take them down to the mat safely. So go ahead, Johnny, go ahead and attack, fake up high, and be able to hit low, drive them down. Another thing we want to stay paying attention to is landing in our base in an athletic position. We don't want to fall down and have our legs extended when we take somebody down. I want you to take them down and have your base wide so we can still be athletic in this position, ready for the chaos that some unexpected things that my opponent or the assailant might be getting ready to do. Now we're training here. Boom, fake up high, get your head up and hips in. So as we do this, come back. This is going to be pretty common mistakes. I want your head to stay up, your back to stay up. So once we get in this position, up here, if we bring our head down, things are going to get heavy. I think about getting into the squat rack. I get under there. You would never lift weight with your back bent, your head down. So you're going to hit up high, driving up into our opponent, shooting low to high. And then we would like to take them away from our head, driving into the mat, and then landing in that base. So go ahead once again. Boom, up high, here we go. Now he's in a much better position, landing in that strong athletic base, ready for every single thing that our opponent can do, that the assailant can do. So that's the double leg. The next most common thing is going to be somebody running away from a police officer. A great way to take somebody down is going to be to lock our hands over an arm and under an arm. We're going to come through here and lock over. You can do whatever side you feel most comfortable. If you are a wrestler, you have your stance. Your lead leg is going to be the side that you like to go on. As we start to put weight on them and sag our weight, don't let your legs go limp. Keep your athleticism, shuffle your feet, and then you're going to use your lead leg to block your opponent's leg, the assailant's leg, and take them down safely. And as you land, remember to land in that athletic position. So let's go ahead, try it out. Johnny, you're a bad guy for once in your life. As you're running away, he's gonna jump on you and sag, carry weight, and then watch how CJ doesn't fall to his hip. He lands in his base, and he's gonna be able to break the assailant down and hold him down safely. And so now, Johnny, you go ahead and get up here. CJ, you're a bad guy. Go ahead, start running away. Grab him over top, and then you're going to use this leg right here, sag on him, blocking that lead leg, and then landing in a base, bringing this foot up, being athletic, being able to put pressure in. I think keeping your head up and chest up is important here too. That's a great way to take somebody down who's running away. All right, another really common thing is going to be to get an assailant out of the car at a traffic stop. And One of the main goals, Johnny was telling me or informing me that the goal is to get them out of the car as quickly as possible so they don't drive away and so they don't have access to any weapons or anything that can hurt you in the vehicle. So what we're gonna do, go ahead CJ, you're gonna grab them elbow deep around the neck, and then I think it's really important to grab fingers here. If you're grabbing wrists, they can still hold onto the steering wheel and it can cause problems and make things a little more difficult. So grab all 4 fingers and pull that off, and I'm gonna feed it to my other hand, grab this wrist, and then watch this, how he's gonna rip his hand inside, and this is gonna give you the leverage to pull him out of the car. And in a perfect world, you'd have this area to go ahead and take him down and do what you please, but in a realistic situation, there's gonna be cars driving by, and I wanna make sure I keep my friend safe and keep the assailant safe so we can book them. So I can either shove them into the hood of the car, or we can try and drag them to the back here. And since we have this good wrist lock and we have a good handle around the neck, we're gonna have enough leverage to be able to slide them down. And CJ, go ahead and check this. Slide them down right in front of us and then limp your arm out right in here. Notice how CJ's landing in an athletic position, ready to break our assailant down and hold him down and be able to cuff him, get hands behind the back. So, all right, Johnny, your turn now. CJ, you're a bad guy. Holding on, woo, woo, woo. Get up in there. And he's gonna grab him by the neck here. Go ahead and reach for fingers, pull that off. Feed it to your other hand here, grab inside control with this wrist. You're gonna go here, grab wrist, go inside, grab your own, grab here, there you go. And then you're gonna swing them out and take them a couple different directions. And as you do this, I would limp this hand out and go behind here. Once again, landing in the perfect base, holding our opponent down, holding the assailant down, being ready to cuff them, break them down flat. That's pulling somebody out of a car. So now that you have taken down the assailant, it is very crucial to break them down flat and get their arms behind their back to gain compliance. A couple ways to lock our hands are going to be, one, if we having a harder time and we have to reach a little bit farther, say the assailant is a little bit bigger or they're fighting our hands in some reason, we're gonna lock our fingers, squeeze those things in, and then I'll be able to gain control and use my lats and my back to squeeze my opponent. The other one is gonna be a more tight lock. This is gonna be a lock that is very, very difficult to break. Put your palms together, twist your hands, and then wrap your hands around like this. It's called a butterfly lock. This is gonna be the tightest, the hardest to break, and probably the best way to gain control and gain that compliance that we're talking about. So as Johnny, you're the bad guy. Go ahead. We've taken you down. And now the main goal is going to be to capture him. Johnny is the bad guy. He's down. The main thing we're going to make sure is that we capture our opponent so he doesn't hit the ground and bounce back up to his feet. The goal is going to be on top of the assailant. And it seems simple, but so often in combat sports, people fall off to the side and do a lot of holding with just their one arm. I want to use my whole body and use my weight and my leverage and keep my athleticism as I do this. So I want to get on top and lock my hands. First one you can do is head and arm. You can be over here. I don't think this is going to be first right here. Head and arm, capturing our opponent. You can see how CJ is on top. This is going to make it harder for Johnny to bounce up because he's carrying weight, and CJ has his legs and his hips if he needs to be explosive. The next way is going to be to lock right around the waist or the chest, and we're going to utilize that butterfly grip where you put your palms together and cinch down tight. This is going to be the tightest one. It's going to give us the ability to lift him up if he does get back down. And then as we break our opponent down, trying to get them flat so we can start to get their hands behind their back, I want to think about being on both sides of the body. So CJ is straight in the middle, so he's equally proportioned. As he starts to break somebody down, his legs might come off to the side. I want his waist and his chest to be high enough to be able to carry weight and put pressure on this side so our opponent, our assailant, can't jump up. So as CJ goes to break him down, I'm going to use what's called a tight waist. Grab deep around the waist, trying to control the assailant's hips with my elbow and forearm and being able to drive down here. CJ's going to go down, and one thing, still again, staying athletic and riding, being on top. So as he falls down, you're going to feel this temptation to want to fall with him. Throw his hips underneath you, stay on top. And so go ahead, Johnny, now it's your turn. CJ, bad guy, holding him down here. As we get on top, do the two locks, do one over the top, head and arm here. Second one, lock, body lock, butterfly grip around the waist. And so now as you start to drive them down, and you're gonna throw them underneath you, and look how Johnny's staying on top. He's doing a really good job. This is gonna make it hard for him. Johnny's a big guy. I don't want him on top of me. This is gonna be really easy for him since now he's in position and he's gonna be able to roll those wrists out and get the hands on him behind the back, able to cuff the assailant and get into that compliant position. Okay, now that we have our assailant broken down, They are going to be commonly holding in tight, resisting, getting the cuffs on them. And there's a couple things we want to do to increase our athleticism and awareness. As you're holding him down, look how CJ's in a nice strong base, being able to check his surroundings and being able to be athletic in case the bad guy tries to get up. One thing that's creating athleticism for the bottom guy is this leg up here. I want CJ to grab this leg with his knee and he's gonna drive it back. Now once he's completely flat, he's losing a lot of athleticism. We can go ahead and attack those wrists and fingers. We're gonna go inside the arm here and grab wrist control. Once we get this, we can start to apply pressure on the head, and CJ is gonna reach in there and he's gonna grab all 4 fingers like this, grab them, and go ahead, you can show them to the camera here, grabbing these fingers, and he's gonna put that on the back really hard and nice and be able to control. This should be a very secure position to where the officer can reach for the cuffs and strap that on. As we get these other cuffs on, we're gonna do this very similar thing on this side. It's gonna be a lot easier once we have the one. Go ahead and roll this wrist out, roll it out here, put weight on it, and be able to put both arms behind the back. And now we have our assailant in that compliant position that we can go ahead and make the arrest. So Johnny, go ahead, you're back to good guy position. Do what you know, get the breakdown. We've broken him down flat, now he's balling up, he's got the knee up. We're gonna scoop that up so he's losing his athleticism. Go inside wrist, go ahead and reach in here. Now you're gonna put a lot of pressure here, watch this. Lean on his shoulder as you kind of put your left hip towards the mat. And now you're gonna grab all 4, put this baseball grip all the way across his back, lose all this space, boom, right in here. And now you can go ahead and put the cuffs on the one hand. This is gonna make it a lot safer. And roll the other wrist out, put that on his back as well. Cuff him up, book him, Johnny, let's go. Thank you guys so much for watching, but you have to understand that this is the most safe, almost unrealistic part of it. Going over the techniques in a very controlled environment is really important, but you have to put in a ton of reps because Johnny and I were just talking, it's a chaotic experience. But to even have that calmness and that confidence and being able to go over these positions constantly in your training is gonna make the difference to where you're calm and you are safe in this environment, even when it is chaotic. If you wanna touch on that a little bit.
We're not doing this all the time. Let's be honest, it's maybe that 1% of the time that we actually have to go hands-on with someone, and the only way that you're gonna be efficient is by being repetitive. So repetitive training, I can't thank these guys enough. CJ, Reese, you guys are awesome, and hopefully we can find a lot more of guys like you guys to train cops.
Yep, so thank you, Johnny. Appreciate you for your time. Let's keep spreading the word. CJ, thanks for spending that time with us and doing the right thing. Together we can make a difference and we can make the world a safer place. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to share it and you think it was valuable, go ahead and hit that share button, and you can follow us and subscribe at youtube.com/highlighthumphrey. Thank you so much for watching.